love that everything had purpose. Oh, that's beautiful.
Exactly, yeah. And then she just fit right in and like got the tone of it all so perfectly.
Disney thought it was reinventing a fairy tale. They poured nearly $270 million into a modern, live-action reboot of Snow White. New actress, new themes, new era. It was supposed to redefine what a Disney princess could be. Instead, it got torched, not by film critics, not by online trolls, but by Family Guy, a cartoon that's made a living off of roasting pop culture. And this time, they didn't just poke fun. They went nuclear. In a now viral scene, Peter Griffin strolls through Disneyland looking totally confused. Behind him, a roller coaster nosedives with the label Disney stock slapped across it, subtlety gone. It's not just a visual gag. It's a statement. Disney's empire is collapsing. Then Peter flips on the TV and launches into a rant that perfectly captures the cultural mood. That girl's hot, wait, that's a guy. That other guy's handsome, that's a girl. That cat's cute, that's a dog. What is everything? That one line, what is everything, has exploded online because it reflects how millions of fans feel. Overwhelmed, confused, and disconnected from the characters and franchises they used to love. And the timing? Brutal, because it dropped right as Disney's Snow White was already tanking in real life. Family Guy didn't need to mention Rachel Zegler by name. They didn't even have to say Snow White out loud. The punchline was clear, and it hit like a bomb because audiences were already fed up, tired of reboots, tired of being preached to, and tired of Disney's obsession with rebranding instead of storytelling. But this wasn't just a one-off roast. It was the first in a series of hits. And what came next, from South Park, George Lucas, political firestorms, and box office disasters, would prove that Family Guy wasn't just joking. They were sounding the alarm. Disney's live-action Snow White wasn't supposed to fail. From a corporate perspective, it checked all the boxes. A beloved classic with built-in nostalgia, a bold new actress to lead a more inclusive direction, and a marketing strategy ready to turn a princess into a modern icon. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. The film's budget ballooned to nearly $270 million, including marketing. A staggering number even by Disney standards. This wasn't just a movie. It was a high-stakes cultural rebrand. The goal wasn't just to retell a story. It was to reshape what a Disney princess stood for in 2024. But fans didn't feel the magic. They felt marketed too. Instead of whimsy, they got messaging. Instead of romance, they got rhetoric. Instead of timeless, it felt try hard. Reviews didn't just pan the film, they dissected it. Words like soulless, heavy-handed, and corporate checkbox storytelling started trending. And as the numbers rolled in, the reality became clear. Snow White had bombed. But the story behind the flop was even more dramatic than the box office totals. Rachel Zegler wasn't just cast in Snow White. She was positioned to carry the future of Disney's princess brand. A Latina actress leading the charge into a new, more inclusive era of fairy tales. On paper, it sounded perfect. But online, the backlash was immediate and brutal. Fans argued that the character's defining traits were being ignored for the sake of optics. The original fairy tale literally describes Snow White as having skin as white as snow. Whether or not that should matter in 2025 didn't stop the internet from exploding. Zegler tried to push back, but instead of easing the tension, she ignited it. Her interviews went viral for all the wrong reasons. She called the original film weird, dismissed the prince's role as creepy, and suggested Snow White didn't need saving. To some, it sounded like progress. To others, it felt like disrespect. Then came the TikToks, the sarcasm, the flippant tone. She wasn't trying to win back critics, she was doubling down. And it backfired. The internet wasn't just mad at Disney anymore. They were mad at her, not because she was different, but because she seemed to treat the legacy like a joke. And when your lead actress is at war with your fan base, your movie is in trouble. When Family Guy took aim at Disney, they didn't miss. The scene played out like satire turned prophecy. Peter watches TV and starts listing off character after character, trying to keep up with who's who. That girl's hot, that's a guy. That cat's cute, that's a dog. He pauses, bewildered. What is everything? It's played for laughs, but it hits like a gut punch. Because that confusion, that's what real people were saying online. Not because they're anti-progress, but because they were feeling overwhelmed, overloaded, rewired, and no one seemed to be asking if the storytelling still worked. The roller coaster crashing behind Peter wasn't just animation. It was commentary about the brand, about the direction, about the price of ignoring your audience, and the fact that Disney owns Family Guy now. Ironic doesn't even begin to cover it. Then came the nuclear bomb. South Park's joining the Panderverse. In classic South Park style, it didn't just joke about Disney, it dissected them. Kathleen Kennedy, the real-life Disney executive behind many of the studio's recent creative decisions, is turned into a cartoon character wielding the Pander Stone. Her job? To jam diverse women into every possible role, regardless of fit. The multiverse they built is pure chaos. Characters are no longer themselves. They're algorithmically correct versions. Miserable, sanctimonious, soulless, Cartman, trapped in a nightmare world, screams, "Everyone I care about has been systematically replaced." And then it drops, the line that became legend. Put a chick in it and make her gay. 5 words, instantly memed, immediately controversial, unforgettably accurate to how many viewers now perceive Disney's strategy. South Park didn't just mock Disney. They cracked their formula wide open for the world to see. As if satire wasn't enough, one of Disney's own living legends spoke out, George Lucas. At a public panel, Lucas took a not-so-subtle dig at Disney's leadership, specifically Kathleen Kennedy. He didn't yell. He didn't rant. He just told the truth. "We think we're great people," he said, "but in the real world, we're not." It was a gut check. The kind that doesn't come with flashy effects or billion-dollar budgets. Just honesty. The audience laughed awkwardly. Not because it was hilarious, but because it was too real. This was the man who created Star Wars watching his universe become something else. And the worst part? He wasn't alone in feeling that way. While Snow White was still burning, Disney was already planning its next move. Tangled. Bigger budget, flashier effects, even higher stakes. Estimated total cost? Over $500 million. And the rumored lead? Once again, Rachel Zegler. But this time, the internet didn't wait for trailers, or casting announcements, or marketing campaigns. They revolted on site. Memes torched the decision. Hashtags begged Disney to reconsider. Even diehard fans of Tangled, who wanted to see Rapunzel again, begged them to leave it alone. Disney blinked. Reports surfaced that the project had been shelved. Not canceled, just paused. Translation? They were scared. There's one moment that will haunt this movie forever. Rachel Zegler, proudly promoting Snow White, posts a TikTok of herself walking into a theater, expecting cheers, fans, love. Instead, silence, empty seats, a few scattered people, no buzz, no crowd, no hype. Online, it was an instant meme. She brought flowers to a funeral. The loneliest premiere in Disney history. Brutal, but also accurate. The disconnect couldn't be ignored anymore. Not just between Zegler and the fans, but between Disney and the people who once believed in them. The collapse got political fast. Rachel Zegler signed a letter calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Gaza conflict. Her co-star Gal Gadot is famously pro-Israel. The result? Tension. Not just online, worldwide. Lebanon banned the movie. Fans took sides, and what should have been a fairy tale became a battlefield. Then an old clip resurfaced, Zegler shouting, "F Donald Trump," on social media. She apologized, but the damage was done. Again, this wasn't just a casting controversy anymore. It was chaos, and Snow White was now a symbol of everything going wrong. There's one player left on the board, The Simpsons. They've mocked Marvel fatigue, roasted Star Wars, clowned on reboots, and they're owned by Disney now. If they turn their sights on Snow White or Tangled next, it's over. Because The Simpsons doesn't just make jokes, they shape the culture. And when your own legacy characters start mocking you, the issue isn't just perception, it's legitimacy. The question isn't whether Disney will get roasted again. That's inevitable. The real question, will anyone be laughing next time?